Beverly and Dereck Joubert have spent a lifetime documenting and fighting to save wildlife in Africa. They've made dozens of films for National Geographic and will speak Sunday afternoon at the Jack Singer Concert Hall in Calgary. Joining me are Beverly and Dereck Joubert. Welcome to Calgary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
Thanks for having us.
So why is it so important for people in Canada to get an understanding of the work you have done in Africa?
Well, I think it's important for all of us around the world to be conservationists at heart. Without that, we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose the planet. We're going to lose all of these great natural spaces that you have so much of in Canada, but we can lose it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, truly.
Now, of all the species at risk in Africa, is there one in particular that you're especially concerned about?
Well, it always starts with the predators. That's what we've noticed, and that's why we started the Big Cat Initiative at National Geographic. As there's human encroachment, they're the first to be taken out, and that makes it easier for man, to go and snare and catch animals for the bushmeat trade. But then rhinos will become extinct if we don't assist, and Dereck and I obviously I think it was about 8 years ago, we realized that rhinos were being exterminated in southern Africa. And the only thing that you can do is obviously, go and talk to where the end of the trade route is, which is going to Asia. But we felt we didn't have enough time. And so we went straight into action. We spoke to the two governments and we darted these rhino and took them over to secret locations in Botswana so we could protect them.
Secret because somebody wants to poach them.
Yes, that's right.
Poaching is a huge issue. At the moment, there are about 1,200 rhinos a year being killed, poached, and there are probably fewer than 14,000 left. So, we're going to lose them in 10 years.
What's the point of poaching them? Why is it such a trophy for these people?
Yeah, it's not so much a trophy. They actually consume them. So they take the rhino horn, which is really keratin. It's like hair or fingernails. But there's this myth that in Asia that it fuels your libido and helps you with all sorts of ailments. But none of it's true. But it's a 2,000-year-old myth, and it's hard to fight.
And the same thing is happening with lion bone. Lion bone now is substituting tiger bone for the tiger bone wine that they make. And they use it for auspicious occasions. So large quantities of lions are being killed to go to Asia so that they can make a tiger bone wine.
Mm-hmm. And to work with these animals, to take pictures of them, you have to get very, very close to them. How many times have either of you faced death in dealing with animals in Africa?
Probably too many that we can count. But I must correct, we don't always have to be very close. We have long lenses,
yes,
and so we prefer to not be seen. But sometimes accidents do happen.
Well, I'll give you an example. Yeah. So I've crashed 3 aeroplanes. I've been stung by 21 scorpions, bitten by 3 deadly snakes who apparently weren't as deadly as they thought they were.
Oh, you had a good doctor?
Yeah, I had malaria 20 times, 3 buffalo attacks, and 4 elephant attacks. But other than that, it's fine, and you should come out on safari with us.
Okay, then. All right. Well, you mentioned the buffalo attack, and that was almost fatal for you. One buffalo attack 7 or 8 years ago, right?
It was 2017. It was March 2017. And it actually was on World Wildlife Day, which is quite unusual.
Ironic.
It's very ironic. But Dereck and I, we'd been out filming, and we got back, and we were going from our vehicle to our tent to our main area, in the dark, but with flashlights. And something we've done, had done for about 39 years. And this buffalo came out of nowhere from the darkness. We heard 3 snorts, and then he collided with us. He sent Dereck flying, and then he impaled me. And I think that was, the hardest part of it is because he knocked me out in the beginning, and I woke up on his horns as he was galloping off. Fortunately, Dereck could get up. He saw me sort of in a silhouetted fashion, and he could get up and he could run after the buffalo. and create a heroic act to get me off.
Well, it broke 4 of my ribs and my hip, but I hadn't yet felt that pain. So I got up and I chased after the buffalo and jumped up and kicked the buffalo on the side. And then he tried to get to me and threw Beverly off the horn.
Oh my.
And then I carried Beverly almost all the way back to the main area. But that was the beginning of the story, because then I had to look after her for 11 hours in the dark, in the bush, before we got any help.
And when you say impaled, it was through your side, right?
He went underneath the armpit and then through the chest, shattered the collarbone, went through the neck, and then the tip of the horn ended up in the cheek. So I broke 27 bones. I had 7 different surgeons for, you know, each aspect of what had happened to me. And 2.5 months later, the surgeons all said I was their miracle child. I shouldn't have survived the accident, and they were absolutely convinced I shouldn't have survived the hospital, which I thought you have little faith in your doctors. But they said no, what they had to throw at me, you know, the amount of anesthetic, the amount of operations. Just in 4 days, I had 21 hours of operation and then had to have others. Was remarkable. So I am a little bionic. I have 41 screws in the face.
Oh my.
And 3 plates, and then a huge plate across the collarbone, and then all the other little cracks and, you know, artifacts that I will live with.
But other than that, she's perfect.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Well, thank you very much.
Very
Ian.
happy to have you in Canada. Now, you two have been together basically since high school. Could you imagine doing this kind of work with anybody else?
Absolutely no. I believe when we met, it felt like we were soulmates, like-minded in every way, and we wanted adventure, we wanted to explore. We were determined that we weren't going to phone home and tell each other the excitement that was happening in each other's lives being married. We wanted to be doing it together, and we found something that we loved. We became a little more determined, though, as the years went by. And if I can quickly go back to the buffalo, that gave us a strong resolve and more committed in understanding our own mortality and understanding that the planet has an equal mortality, and that we had to fight harder to be more successful.
You feel the same way, Dereck?
Well, there were 2 or 3 other people. No, of course. No, absolutely. This has been so far, we're not done yet, but this has been a partnership from when we were in our 20s, you know, in our teens actually, all the way through ups and downs, and a shared passion, almost obsession for what we do.
So, Calgarians will go to this event on Sunday. You will appeal to their hearts. They will deeply respect what you're doing in Africa, but there's a difference between, you know, having that compassion for what you do and doing something about it. So, what can Canadians do to help your situation?
Well, very obviously support us. I mean, we're moving elephants at the moment, airlifting rhinos, and it costs $45,000 to move a rhino, or to $10,000 to move an elephant. So that sort of support is really important to us. But generally, though, we need people to support legislation. There are so many things going on. We're coming up against this all over the world now, where laws are changing, people are turning their backs on Africa. There's very little aid coming into Africa now.
Yeah.
There's way too much hunting going on, and trophies being shipped around the world. And we've seen the animals around us being depleted. And we need people to stand together with us for that.
In our lifetime, we're seeing a 95% decline, pretty much on all species, but definitely all the big cats. And just to give you an example, cheetahs have gone down to 7,500. Lions have gone down to 16,000, and the drastic decline is from 450,000 60 years ago. So that's alarming. We do need to do something, otherwise our children's children will not be able to go on a safari. And safaris keep the economy of Africa alive.
How much of this is connected to climate change?
Some of it's climate change, but you know what climate change will do? It'll just make the faults that are already going on so much worse.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we hunt lions down to 16,000, and then suddenly there's some sort of climatic conditions that happen, as we see now, we'll lose a whole lot in a very short space of time. Elephants need wide ranges of connected veins or paths from waterhole to waterhole, and that's great. If we're hunting them, as well as the waterholes drying up, then we've got a big problem.
Well, you obviously do amazing work. Thank you for coming to Calgary and sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne.
Thanks for inviting us.
And Wild Eye, A Life in Photographs with Beverly and Dereck Joubert is at the Jack Singer Concert Hall this Sunday, October 26th. For tickets, visit worklandcenter.ca/what'son.